All right, greetings everybody. Robin here from Courage is the Cure. Welcome to episode 45 of Arise. And today we're going to be talking about our Communications Minister, Anika Wells. She's alive, everybody. She's alive. See you in a bit.
Strength of a woman world on her shoulders. Fight through the noise when the world gets colder. 832, got the grit, got the fire. Watch her rise, watch her come higher.
Alrighty, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to episode 45 of Rise. And today we're going to be talking about our Communications Minister, Miss Anika Wells. She's alive, everybody. She's alive. You must let me know in the comments how my audio is, if I sound like I'm in a tin shed. Hello, Leander. After I interviewed Tess Hackett regarding the trans agenda, it seems we've had some problems. But anyway, you've got to let me know if I sound like I'm in a tin shed. Hello to everybody on YouTube. We're streaming to YouTube this morning. I'll have to be careful what I say. Remember, guidelines and standards, not censorship, all of those wonderful things. And a huge thank you to... That's funny, Leander. That's just popped up and been deleted. Oh, they're playing silly buggers already, I tell you. They can't leave us alone, can they? A huge thank you to my supporters over on Buy Me a Coffee. Courage is cure. They won't let me put the. Without your support, my work wouldn't be possible. I'm 100% crowd-funded for a very important reason, and that is to remain independent. Extremely important to me anyway. So thank you to everybody over there on Buy Me a Coffee and other ways that people support me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. Just in case you weren't aware, all of my Rise episodes live on my Rumble channel, which is called Robin's Hood. So if you're not subscribed over there, I would implore you to do that. And my Relentless shows on Rumble live on my channel, Courage is the Cure. It's just for everybody's information. There we go. Make sure you go along to my Facebook page. I have a giveaway at the moment for a Black Sheep Club badge. You'll find that on my Fascist book page. Please go along there. Entries closed today, so make sure you pop along. All righty, everybody. We're having a fun day today. I think we're being heavily censored, but that's okay. We're getting all sorts of notifications. I don't like me talking. Hello, Phil. How are you? Alrighty. So once again, everybody, let's just pop Anika up. She is alive, everybody. She's alive. Our communications minister. Now, I have been talking about digital ID, the under 16 social media ban for quite a while now. And in most recent weeks, I have been asking the question, where is our newly appointed, as of May 2025, communications minister, Michelle's the old one, Anika Wells. And my latest show asking where she was on the 26th of July. And not only was I asking where she was, because I went through her lack of absence list of chronological absenteeisms. I also asked the question, why isn't corporate media asking where she is? Why isn't corporate media asking that question either? And so funnily enough, she appeared. She actually appeared on the 30th of July. So we're going to be going through her appearances. Hello, Big Booty. since the 30th of July because she has reappeared. And of course, we would all like to know the details about the under 16 social media ban because, of course, that is expected to be rolled in, take effect on the 10th of December this year in Australia. I mean, we've got countries like the UK, which already have their Online Safety Act taken effect, so on and so forth. And what's that good old word? Lockstep. There we go. Leander, she disappeared like the flu in 2020 2021. Now she's back just like the flu. Exactly. Alrighty, so where are we going to start from her reappearance to the public? Because even we had the shadow communications minister. She even went on the 7:30 report on the 24th of July and was talking to the public and was telling everybody about her request to meet with the E-Commissioner, Miss Julian Mann Grant. I mean, even the shadow communications minister managed to show her face. But anyway, let's get on with it. So the 30th of July, that was the big date, everybody. The 30th of July when Anika Wells showed her face again. Do I have a nice picture with her lippy? There she is. There's Anika. Morning, Anika. How are you? I'll tell you what, it was a huge relief on the 30th of July when we saw her out there with Elbow. Which one shall we start with, everybody? Let's find the first video file. Now, we'll hear from our Prime Minister first, and he talks about social media doing harm. So here we go, everybody. 30th of July, hearing from Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Minister for Communications, Miss Anika Wells. Here we go.
Is doing social harm. And my government and this parliament is prepared to take action to protect young Australians.
There is no perfect solution when it comes to keeping young Australians safe online, but the social media minimum age laws will make a meaningful difference.
Young people under the age of 16 will not be able to have accounts on YouTube. They will also not be able to have accounts on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, X, amongst other platforms.
This is too important for us not to have a good crack at it.
Well, everybody, it'll make a meaningful difference and we'll have a good crack at it, she said. We'll have a good crack at it. That's interesting, isn't it? Interesting choice of words. Miss Anika, now just pay attention to what she's wearing on the 30th. It's a very busy day for Anika on the 30th. My camera is not in the right spot, everybody, but I'm terribly sorry. Things are moving around all the time. I don't know how it happens, but it does. So anyway, make a meaningful difference and we'll give it a good crack. Hey? What do you think about that language? Give it a good crack. I don't know if requiring the Australian public to roll onto a digital ID is a good enough thing to have a crack at it. And of course, there's a whole conversation which I haven't really dived into at all, and that's how this is going to affect our young people because there will be a great majority of parents who just let them use their account to, remain on social media. And then there will be a great number of parents who say, nope, the government has said this is illegal. You can't have a social media account. And so there hasn't been much discussion with young people or about young people how this could affect them. I've heard people having conversations. Possibly we might have young people harming themselves as a result of this. The connections, the communities. A lot of young people do find a sense of community online, whether or not you agree with it or not. It's just the reality of the matter. So um, that language, let's give it a good crack. I hope the government is prepared for possibly some very sad outcomes, and what that says about our society and the reliance that young people have on a online community is a whole nother discussion, all these sorts of things. I hope, giving it a good crack, means that they've thought about the very harmful outcomes that could result from this. I mean, isn't this under 16-year-old social media ban supposed to prevent young people from watching harmful content? But we haven't had any of these politicians verbalizing or showing us that they've spoken to professionals about how taking away these communities from young people could in fact be harmful in itself. But anyway, I digress. So that was Albanese and Anika on the 30th of July. We've got another one now. This is the same press conference, and this goes into a little more detail from Anika, and she uses the analogy digital flags and sharks. Now, where did we hear that? We heard that from our eSafety Commissioner, Ms. Julian Mungrant, when she addressed the National Press Club on the 24th of June and wanted to make a ridiculous analogy with flags, red and yellow flags at a beach, and comparing that with the under 6-year-old social media ban. So here we go. Continuing on, let's hear from Anika.
Who they are before platforms assume who they are, which is why I want to be clear about YouTube. The evidence cannot be ignored that 4 out of 10 Australian kids report that their most recent harm was on YouTube. And as parents, we are really trying our best when it comes to the internet, but it is like trying to teach your kids to swim in the open ocean with the rips and the sharks compared to at the local council pool.
With the rips and the sharks as opposed to the local council pool. I mean, give me a break. Is this what she was hiding away for so long from when she was appointed in May? Because let's not forget, she would have had to have been educated. She would have had her staffers write all these things, the talking points that she had to make sure that she hit on, the answers that she would give when corporate media cameras would ask her a question. She had to learn a script, right? And is this the best they could come up with, regurgitating a ridiculous analogy from Julian Mungrant? I mean, these people, they do not have an original thought in their brain, do they? And that's part of their job description, is not to have an original thought. It's to toe the party line, and it's to reiterate to the Australian public what the shady, disgusting creatures have sent down the pipeline and some paperwork and script that they have to learn. I mean, honestly. I'm sorry, Anika, I interrupted.
We can't control the ocean, but we can police the sharks. And that's why I will not be intimidated by legal threats when this is a genuine fight for the well-being of Australian kids. We want kids to know
She couldn't even say Australian properly. Let me just take you back. Listen
we
to
can't
this.
control the ocean, but we can police the sharks.
We can police the sharks. If you look at her face, she thinks she's so clever. She wanted to smile and marvel at her own words, but then realize what she was talking about. If she had have put her cheesy grin on there, let's not remember these people are masters of cheesy, slimy grins. Nobody would have taken her a little bit in the least serious. Keep going.
And that's why I will not be intimidated by legal threats when this is a genuine fight for the well-being of Australian kids.
Australian kids. She couldn't even say Australian properly. So the legal fight she's referencing there is, of course, Google threatening to sue because the original exemption for YouTube, I have to remember I'm streaming to YouTube, got to be careful what I say, was revoked, and so now YouTube is included. And let's not forget, everybody, that if you use a Google browser, you're going to have to verify your age. Big booty. The same people that put sand over playgrounds and chained up the parks are now protecting the kids. Exactly. Good point. Leandra, it's not about child safety. It's to get everyone onto digital ID. The only sharks that need policing, exactly, is the government. Speaking like a box jellyfish. Hi, Jason. How are you going? Now, on the very same day, we're going to get through this very quickly because there's a video. This show is so painful for me to do. I have to tell you, to have to keep an eye on this person. It pains me to no end. On the very same day when she was there, very same press conference, must excuse me, the corporate media cameras asked Albanese a question, and it is my conspiracy allegedly that, like I'd suggested before, that they're given a script and told what to say, told how to answer, all these sorts of things. In this situation, the question that was posed to our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, he was told prior to, morning Hansi, this press conference not to answer that question and to defer to our Minister for Communication. And this is the video that I think, in my humble opinion, conspiracy allegedly, shows this.
Won't need to upload a document such.
I'm sorry, everybody. I'm going to remove the banner. I'm going to remove myself. Just watch this.
Can you assure that Australians won't need to upload a document such as their driver's license or a passport to?
So he's saying, can you ensure Australians won't have to upload a document like driver's license? I'm so sorry about my rooster. It's annoying me. Okay, I'll play it. One interrupt. I'm so sorry.
Won't need to upload a document such as their driver's license or a passport to prove their age in order to access these social media sites.
Yes, I can offer you that. Platforms have.
Did you see that? Did you see him looking away? He didn't even attempt to answer that question and automatically knows, oh, that's Anika's question. I'm not supposed to answer that. I mean, honestly, people, see him with the side look there? That, in my mind, everybody, confirms the fact that they're all given scripts, they're all told what questions they're supposed to answer. My rooster is annoying me. And he looks away, defers to Anika. I mean, these people can't even pretend to have a single original thought, to have a single thought, forget original thought, a single thought of their own to answer a question from corporate media. Hello, Australians for Assange. The sharks policing the people. It's always the opposite. Rachel, would you like a Hansi? We've got one here. I tell you what, he's right outside my window. Right outside my window. Scripted puppets. I mean, if this video doesn't say that or show that, look at him looking away. No, don't answer. Don't answer. Don't answer. Oh, she's ready to go with an answer. She knows exactly what she wants to say. She's ready to go. Amazing. Hey? The months that she spent, so May, June, July. So she's had 2 months. She's had a good 2 months to sit down and learn her script, what she's supposed to say, and she was ready to go. Ready to go. Good on you, love. Amazing. Hi, Terry. Smoke and mirrors actors always were, always will be. Sock puppets, yes. Alrighty, so we've done those ones. Now, on the very same day, we had remember the parliamentarians were sitting in Parliament. They actually had to go back and do some work. Yeah. I think my husband would be devastated if I gave away our rooster. So on the very same day, the bill was tabled. So we're going to hear from Anika. Let's have a look at it being tabled. Here we go, everybody.
This government again shows its commitment to putting families at the heart of our decision-making, tabling the rules of Australia's world-leading social media minimum age laws. In response to advice from...
question, everybody. Why now? We know that the UK has their Online Safety Act already come into effect. Why is what we're doing in Australia world leading, right? Because in the UK, they're spouting the same reasoning, and that's to protect the children, right? Which is what they're saying here in Australia. What is so different about what we're going to implement on the 10th of December that is world leading? How does it differ from the UK? Again, we still have, after all of these videos that I'm going to show you this morning, we still have no detail. Let's remember that there's no detail. So I'd like to know, what is the difference between what they're doing in the UK to protect the children online and what we're going to be doing in Australia online to protect the children? Why are we world leading? That's one of the questions I have.
From the E-Safety Commission, the online safety rules tabled today specify which types of online services will not be captured by the social media law, including health and education, messaging apps and games.
Yeah. So is Pornhub one of those health sites, Anika? Please explain that to the Australian public, because I can't think of a good enough reason to allow such sites not to be captured under this legislation. Can you explain that to us, Anika?
These types of online services have been excluded from the minimum age obligations because they pose fewer social media harms to under 16s or are regulated under different laws. We are implementing these rules and this law on behalf of parents who want and deserve better protections for their kids online. Which is why, Mr Speaker, I want to be clear about YouTube. I was required by the law to seek advice from the E-Safety Commission on the draft rules, and the E-Safety Commissioner's advice was clear. 4 out of 10 Australian kids have had their most recent or most harmful experience on YouTube. And on top of that, YouTube uses the same persuasive design features as other social media platforms, like infinite scroll, like autoplay and algorithmic feeds. Against this content and these features, ubiquitous across all social media platforms, our kids don't stand a chance. And that is why I accepted eSafety's recommendation that YouTube should not be treated differently from other social media platforms.
And yet you can watch YouTube in a logged out state. So please explain, Anika, how that's supposed to function, how you purport that it does, when they can still watch in a logged out state. It's nonsense.
I will not be intimidated by legal threats when this is a genuine fight for the well-being of Australian kids. A fight to help Mia, Rob and Emma change lives. There is no perfect solution when it comes to keeping younger Australians safe online. We accept that. But the social media minimum age laws will make a meaningful difference. There's a place for social media, but there's not a place for predatory algorithms that cause our children harm.
Predatory algorithms. Parents need to be allowed to be parents. It stinks of communism, inserting yourself within the parental sphere. Just nuts. I mean, drives me crazy. Drives me crazy, these people. Yes, exactly, Gabrielle. Pornhub should be on the top of this if they are serious. I mean, you would think so, wouldn't you? You would think so. But no, don't worry about that. So that was tabling the bill, also on the 30th. So Anika has had a very busy day when she decided, right, she's ready to go. I've been missing in action for far too long. People might start asking questions, Don't worry about the little independent researchers and journalists that are asking questions. Maybe, the Australian public might start asking questions, and heaven forbid the corporate media might actually pull their finger out and ask where our communications minister is. So showed her face on the 30th of July, had a busy morning in front of the corporate media cameras, and then busy in Parliament tabling the legislation. And what else? Good morning, Max Freedom. How are you? Nice to see you here. And then also in the evening, she went over to where? Hey, which is the network on TV, which is trying to re-establish trust, everybody, and get everybody to start watching again because nobody's watching it. The good old ABC. Hey, the good old ABC. So in the afternoon, where did she go? She went over to the ABC. So let's have a look at Anika Wells, and she makes an appearance on the 7:30 report. quality journalism there for you. Here we go. Let's listen to Anika.
Social media platforms will be required to take reasonable steps to prevent under-16s from holding accounts. What does reasonable steps mean?
The reasonable steps is
Now, this should be, everybody, where we get some information. How is this going to operate? How are they going to do it, right? And what they're talking about is the big tech platforms. It's up to the big tech platforms to require people, everyone, to verify their age, right? Are we going to get some detail? Let's see, everyone.
is suggested and worked through with the e-safety commissioner. These platforms work with her every day on what this looks like, and I mean they've had 8 months already.
So they're working with the e-safety commissioner. They've had 8 months. Have we had any detail yet? No, not quite yet. I'll give her a chance. Give her a chance, everybody.
They have another 4 months. We made this law last year to give everybody 12 months to work through these elements. And obviously this is going to look different for every platform. They've all got proprietary technology. They're all rivals with each other. That's why we can't do this in a universal way. It's going to look different for each platform. But I mean, reasonable steps is a pretty common test under the law. And I think it comes down to common sense. And in this case in particular, it comes down to whether the e-safety commissioner is satisfied.
So it comes down to common sense. And if the e-safety commissioner, Miss Julie Imman Grant, is satisfied, that's the detail. There's Miss Julie. Hello, Julie. There's Julie. There's Anika. Oh, aren't they nice? No detail. She said it comes down to common sense and it's up to the e-safety commissioner. But no detail how they're going to do it. Still no detail. Still no detail. Pat, on the TV Logies, ABC won a lot of awards. Of course they did, Pat. Of course they did. Borrow, word salad. I mean, you know, if she said anything that contained even 10% of relative considered information, maybe we might even be able to call it word salad, but there's just nothing there at all. Common sense and e-safety commissioner. So Anthony Albanese in front of, so sorry about the rooster. It's very hard for me to concentrate when he does this. Anthony Albanese defers to Anika Wells in front of corporate media cameras, and Anika Wells defers to the e-safety commissioner in front of corporate media cameras. There's no accountability, no transparency, no accountability, all of those wanky think tank words. No one's accountable. No one has any information. You don't need to know. We're just going to do it. And that's all you get. Common sense. And I'll just defer it to the e-safety commissioner when, you know, she has to be happy with it. An unelected bureaucrat, an unelected American bureaucrat. And I don't care if she's got 2 passports. And when somebody can confirm her year of birth, I'd really like someone to tell me that, because seems we're not able to confirm the year she was born. You know who else? Funny fact, I'm doing some research at the moment on one of our favourite people, Mr. Brett Sutton. He's another person. For some reason, you can't confirm the year he was born. Isn't that odd? Does anybody else find that odd? Oh gosh, we haven't even finished this video yet. I talk far too much, don't I? Here we go. Let's keep going.
When will we know how age verification is going to work?
So we're awaiting the final results of the age assurance trial, and when I get that, I will publish that as soon as possible so that everybody can have a look at it. And I think it's an important step along the way. Plenty of platforms already have age assurance mechanisms that they use.
So we're awaiting the age assurance trials that Australia is doing. Tell me, again, why is Australia doing age assurance trials when it's up to big tech to choose however they like to make people undergo whatever age assurance technology, use, participate, whatever they choose? So why are we doing trials when it's the big tech platforms that implement this? Nobody can answer that either. I can't find a good answer for that.
In their platforms. And then we've also stipulated as part of these reforms that platforms are going to have to offer people an alternative to uploading their own personal identification documents to the platform if they're not happy. Apologies, it's a busy afternoon here in the Parliament.
Just to conclude on age verification, you said there's some time to go, but what your expectation is that the social media companies will come up with mechanisms that will work short of things like uploading personal documents?
Well, we've said they have to provide an alternative. I mean, maybe that is an option, but you have to provide an alternative for Australians who aren't comfortable doing that. But I would say that social media platforms can target with deadly accuracy to all of us. They know who we are, they know.
So they don't have the detail. You know why they don't have the detail? It's because it's up to the social media platforms. And the social media platforms, what, haven't told the Australian government how they're doing it? But how is it for such an important legislation that is supposed to protect children from harm online that the Australian government, it looks like they're just sitting back and going, "Oh, we'll wait for the testing that we're doing. We'll print that, but ultimately we're just waiting until the big tech platforms decide what technology, if any at all, that they're going to use, whether they require paperwork or an alternative. We're just going to sit back and wait until the big tech platforms tell us for such an important legislation." That seems backwards as well. It's backwards.
What we do, they know who we're friends with, they know when we hang out with them, they know what we click on and why and when. And they have a lot of data on us. They probably know our age already. They need to come up with ways to test that if they don't. But if you've had a social media account, if you've been on Facebook since 2009, Facebook knows that you're over 16.
Online.
So for a great majority of people, right? Let's just go on what she just said. Social media would already know that we're over the age of 16, right? So why would that mean that everybody has to prove their age then? Because she says it repeatedly, not only on the 7:30 report, but other interviews that, social media platforms have this technology already. And, clearly they can tell if you've had an account for, so many years. If that's the case, then why would everybody need to verify their age? And let's not forget this deal that they have with Google. I wish I had more time or had, a researcher to help me. What is going on with Google in Australia?
Online gaming platforms are exempt from the ban, but there's plenty of research that shows that predators target often very young children on gaming platforms making available sexual content via the avatars and via the voice functions in those games. Why are they not banned?
Because they are subject to the National Classification Scheme and other laws in Australia.
Is that the same national classification scheme that allows library books in public libraries that instruct children how to do activities which should be adult material only? Is that the same national standard, Anika?
They're nominated as exempt, but it is for, like I've said earlier today, these laws aren't set and forget, they're set and support. And if it is the case that we see, or the Safety Commissioner observes the practice of that after these laws come into place as needing attention, then we will absolutely have a look at it.
So there we go, everybody. So that was the 30th of July, even in the evening when she got on the ABC and she's had her press conference in the morning with Albo, then she was tabling letters, and then she's got on the 7:30 report. Hello, Joanne, how are you? Very busy day for Anika on the 30th, wasn't it? I bet she was worn out after that. Poor love, I bet she was pooped. Eh? I bet she crawled into bed or crawled back into the dark cave of which she emerged and had a good rest. Huh? Am I too cynical? Am I a terrible person? I don't think so. As always, we're never told the full story. We're always kept in the dark. Don't ask any questions. Don't worry about it. Yes, Rachel. Unbelievable. Righty, so that was the 30th. Reasonable steps. We didn't get any information. Reasonable steps. All we got from that was common sense. Big tech's going to do it, don't worry. We're going to print the results of Australia's testing for age assurance technology, but, for everybody to see. But don't know how that works with big tech because they're doing it anyway, so don't explain that. Don't worry about that. And defer to Julie and Mungrant. Defer to Julie and Mungrant. Amazing. So then, this one's going to be. How far are we in? 35 minutes. Okay, we might get through this. So all of that was from the 30th of July when she reappeared. Ta-da! Ta-da! Anika is alive and well, everybody. Don't worry. Anika's alive. Don't worry. So all of those were from the 30th of July. Now we're going to move on to her next most notable appearance, which was just a couple of days ago on the 5th of August. And I'm terribly sorry, everybody, that we have to sit through this, but somebody has to keep track of this absolute nonsense, because this nonsense, if it goes ahead as they intend it to, will be the gate closing on the digital ID electrified paddock that we're all being corralled into. So as much as this pains me to have to watch Julie, to have to watch Anika, and previous to that, Michelle, I have to get all these videos on a show for perpetuity, because these slimy creatures are the ones that are employed to corral us into that electrified digital ID paddock. And I feel like it's a responsibility to collate all of these appearances, as I said, for perpetuity. So here we go. This is the last video. It is 16 minutes long. It's going to take us ages to get through it because I can't help myself. I always interrupt. Well, it's not really interrupting, isn't it? I'm just giving my commentary and asking questions. We're not supposed to ask questions, are we? Hello, Daryl. How are you? Morning, Nettie. So as I said, this was from the 5th of August on Sky News. And apparently it's going to be messy. It's going to be messy implementing this. Now, let's not forget the 10th of December, when this is supposed to take effect in Australia. I mean, this is the busy time of the year. It's when the kids, are finishing their year at school. School holidays is coming about. Everybody's preparing for, Christmas holidays, New Year's celebrations, all sorts of things. The added pressures of trying to fund December and January. It's very expensive for families. There's a lot of pressure upon families. So there's going to be a whole bunch of parents out there that are not going to be able to have the time or mental capacity to pay attention. It's funny they time these things like this, isn't it? So anyway, all right, here we go. So it's going to be messy. Yeah, I bet it's going to be messy, Anika. So this is from the 5th of August on Sky News. Here we go, everybody.
The world will change for millions of Australians when the federal government introduces a ban on under 16s using social media. Tens of thousands of parents will have to explain to their teenagers why their social media accounts have been shut down. And the tech companies will face fines of up to $50 million if they don't make a proper effort to instantly
Hey, Sky, even I know it's not $50 million. Can't even do their research.
shut down the Instagram, Snapchat and Facebook accounts of their teenage customers. It is revolutionary stuff and shapes as a big story to come over the summer. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese even declared last week he wanted to encourage other countries to take up this ban when he addresses the UN General Assembly in September.
Oh, God, can you imagine at the UN General Assembly in September? Anthony Albanese, I wonder if he's going to wear his Akubra. I wonder if Trump will actually have a conversation with him then. Can you imagine him going up to the UN and going, Australia's leading the world. We'd like to encourage you to do the same. Embarrassing.
The Communications Minister Anika Wells joined me a short time ago, and we began by discussing her announcement today of more access to the NBN for people in regional communities in a partnership with Amazon. But you'll see here, we soon turn to the social media ban and the implementation of it.
In a partnership with Amazon. Ooh. I wish I had more time to look into these things, I tell you.
Social media companies won't have to use facial recognition technology to put it in place, the minister says. They can mine their own data to block the accounts of young people. Anika Wells, thanks so much for your time. You've made an announcement this morning concerning faster and more reliable broadband through the end.
Look at that banner, will you? Politics now, real news, honest views. Give me a break. Oh God, who just put Gabrielle? This is cringeworthy. I know. I'm so sorry. It pains me to have to watch it in the first place and then collate it like this into a show so that we've got it in a nice package, for when people complain in February or whatever, or whenever people actually realise what's happened. It's all there in a nice package for everybody. Oh God, I mean, cringeworthy. God, cringeworthy times 600 million and then some. It's so painful. Oh.
NBN, a partnership with Amazon. Take us through that. I think it's improving things for people in regional areas, but the NBN has some competition there with Starlink, doesn't it?
Well, remember the originating purpose for the NBN Co was doing what the market could not, which was providing high speed, high quality broadband to every Australian. There are still
NBN and Amazon announce regional partnership. Hey, love, what about the cities that we have north of Perth, like Geraldton, who's a city, who was one of the first cities to get NBN? And the internet doesn't even work up there. Even in their public libraries, the internet doesn't work. Give me a break, honestly. Oh,
some gaps out there. People in rural and remote Australia in particular don't experience the kind of high quality, high speed access that they need and deserve. So today's deal will provide 300,000 homes and businesses with quicker access and services to things like telehealth, real-time apps,
telehealth. Yeah, you wait, everybody. Just like RFK Jr. announced a couple of months ago, they're using AI technology is already managing their health records, and pretty soon they'll be using AI via their telehealth services to help people when they're. I mean, can people not see what's happening here? Can you not see what's happening here, people? I mean, honestly, and I think she's been out. I think here's a bit of humour for you. I think Anika has been out with Machinta Allen, Miss Jacinta, machete lady, Machinta Allen, wearing hard hats with high vis. Look at that hairstyle. That looks like a hard hat hairstyle. Love? Oh, Oh,
online gaming, health, education services that they need and deserve where they live. And, the Prime Minister's credo is no Australian left behind. Today's deal is another important contribution to that.
So what areas will this affect?
So this will be, the NBN and Co will work with Amazon Kuiper now on the rollout of this, but what NBN and Co would tell you is there are 300,000 homes and businesses that will be able to experience quicker, higher quality NBN connection as a result of this. This is that LeoSat technology rolling out. So at the moment, the latency with which you interact with your services online, this will be a quicker way for homes and businesses to get high quality services that allows them to run a regional business from their home or their business in remote Australia.
nobody's running small businesses, love, anymore, and you know it. You know it. They're all closed down during the COVID war, love. Give me a break.
Allow your kids to get better, quicker access to educational services, telehealth, online gaming, as is their right. And we look forward to this rolling out broadly across the country.
Are you happy with the average internet speed of Australians? Do you have other plans to improve internet speeds?
Well, this is exactly, this is a major milestone on that journey to high quality, high speed broadband. We're on a redemption journey after the old coalition copper delayed things.
A redemption journey. Here she goes again. Thinks she's so clever with her phrases and idioms, hey? Talk about cringeworthy.
Cost a fortune. We're still fixing that error. And you would have seen me in the Parliament last week talking about the steps that we are taking to improve those services for another 600,000 more Australians this year as part of the second term Albanese government agenda. Today's deal with Amazon Kuiper is another really important step in that journey to make sure that everybody in Australia, no matter which postcode you are in, is not left behind.
Well, first time I've spoken to you in your new portfolio, and the opportunity to talk a bit about the social media ban for under 16s now. Day one of that is December 10. What happens on day one?
Under the law, the onus is on the platforms to make sure that they have identified any social media accounts that are held by under 16s and that on day one, those social media accounts are deactivated. They've also got to take reasonable steps to make sure that no new accounts are activated.
No new accounts are activated. Day one of social media ban explained. Are we going to get detail on how they're going to do it, Anika? We still haven't got any detail. Still no detail. What's being explained exactly?
Anyone trying to get around the system, they've taken reasonable steps to try and stop that from happening and to clean up errors as we go. Because anything that's world leading, anything that we're trying to do, we're trying a big swing, it's going to look a bit messy on the way through. That's certainly what I found in aged care reform. But this is too important not to do. You would have seen last week in the Parliament, we had bereaved parents who did the very best that they could with their kids, and that wasn't enough. So we are stepping up and supporting those parents to give them another weapon in the battle of kids.
Oh, there she goes again. See that smile? Another weapon in the battle, everybody. I wonder if it's a machete. Ah, lordy lord.
Using the internet safely.
So a kid who's 14 currently has an Instagram account. That account, your expectation would be that the social media companies would be able to identify that it's a 14-year-old using it and shut it down. How do you expect them to identify it?
Well, these social media companies know nearly everything about us. They can target us with deadly accuracy when it comes to their advertising.
Oh, they can target us with deadly accuracy. That's some of that information that they don't actually like the general public to know, generally, but they're using it in this circumstance. To highlight, so I'm just reading the comments there. To highlight the danger that social media platforms present. Isn't it interesting how they use information for their benefit? We've got Max Freedom. These third-party companies that are going to do the verifying have already had reports of ID data hacking and leaks. And follow up, the Australian government is going to leave Aussies vulnerable to identity theft with this measure. Surely not, Mr. Max Freedom. No, that can't be right.
And when it comes to promoting their advertising for revenue streams, so if they know where you are, what you're doing, whom you do it with, at what time you do it, there's a very good chance that they know how old you are. And by the same token, for people who are over 16, if you've had a Facebook account since 2009, Andrew.
And if you don't participate and you get off all social media platforms, right? They still want to know what you're doing. And how are they going to do that? If you don't use another browser and you continue to use Google, or you continue to use Google Maps in your cars, quite possibly, they're still going to know what you're doing, what you're up to, who you're doing it with, and lots of other information, pertinent information as well. Hey?
They know that you're over 16 as well.
And what's occurring with this age verification trial then? Because it seems like initially the plan was to have this sort of technology where I look at my phone and you can see what age I am. Is that not ready yet? What's the report into that saying? And do you expect social media companies to be using that? We've had reports.
No, Mr. Sky News, you shouldn't be asking, is that technology ready yet? Isn't it ready yet? Hey? Scanning your face via your device. The question you should be asking is it reasonable that that kind of technology would be used at all? What a disgrace. What a disgrace. Disgraceful.
People have used it and it said they're 15, 17 and in their 30s. What's the latest on that?
So the age assurance trial, we have yet to receive the final recommendations and the final report. When I do receive them, I will publish them so that everybody can have a look at that and see the same evidence that I'm looking at to work with the Safety Commissioner on how this rolls out. You would have seen that there's been encouraging steps from sort of the initial there was some reporting a few weeks ago about the initial recommendations, but whilst we wait for the final recommendations, I'll just say that it looks promising, but there will be an onus on social media platforms to take reasonable steps and to work with the Safety Commissioner around that, and also that there will be $49.5 million penalties for anyone found to be systemically breaching those obligations.
Yeah, so...
Yes, Max Freedom, I do. Max Freedom has had a wonderful idea there. You need a alert limited hangout buzzer every time Sky does the bidding for the government. Let me just put it out here in a timely manner. Please go along to my Buy Me a Coffee and become a member. There's lots of different membership levels for as little as $5 a month, because to be able to do something like that, there's all sorts of other little things that I can plug in and make the production of my work much better. Wouldn't it be funny to have a limited hangout buzzer? Please go along to Buy Me a Coffee. Courage is Cure. Because, yes, there's all sorts of things that I'm trying to do at the moment to prepare for what we're watching right now, to make sure that I'm able to continue in 2026 as well. So, yes, just thought I'd mention that. Let's get back to Sky Spears and Miss Anika Wells. Sorry for that interruption, everybody.
Just on that, from December 10, would you expect the social media companies to use that age assurance technology, or could it be you're relying on what you alluded to earlier, which is them sort of mining all the data they have to say, look, this kid's 14, shut him or her off?
Andrew, I think it's fair to say that this will look a little bit different for every different platform or app, and that's their right. They have proprietary technology. They have the right to build their own apps and systems around meeting their legal obligations. You would have seen last week there was some discussion around social media platforms needing to provide an alternative to us.
Another question from Sky Spews there, just telling everyone, hey, by the way, big tech mines your data. Not, again, saying the quiet part out loud, but turning it around and using it to, talk about big tech. Uh, Where's that buzzer when I need it, Mr. Max Freedom? By the way, in case you didn't know, for any general public Australian, big tech mines your data. In case you didn't know.
Asking their users to upload photo identification. They will need to provide an alternative, so that's not the only mode of establishing someone's age.
So
but again, this is an
painful.
innovative space. Big tech is booming, and meetings I've had with executives of platforms have been asking me, how do we build something that gives us...
Oh, like the meeting that you didn't show up with the executives of TikTok? Another one where you were missing in action, Anika? Yeah, okay. Yeah, which meeting exactly? Which executives exactly?
what we need and gives you what you need under the law. And I look forward to continuing that work together.
So you're offering them this technology if they want it, but otherwise they can find their own way of policing this. Is that the case?
Well, they'll need to satisfy the eSafety Commissioner that they have taken.
So she didn't say. See? Sky Spews actually asked a question there. You're offering this technology, and if they don't want to use it, they, do it their own way. She didn't say yes or no. This is the question that I have about why are we doing age assurance tests, right, with different companies, and when it's ultimately up to big tech as to which, how they're going to make people confirm their age. She won't answer yes or no. Why? Because then there'd be questions. She can't say no, because then possibly a follow-up question would be, well, why are you doing these age assurance tests if you're not going to offer the technology to the big tech platforms to use? So she couldn't even say yes or no there. Couldn't even say yes or no. Is that not suspicious? It's highly suspicious to me. Can't even say yes or no.
Reasonable steps, and reasonable steps is a relatively common test under the law. I think, as you would have heard the Prime Minister say, Andrew, in the previous term, social platforms currently need to do that as a social responsibility, but we're also committed to delivering the digital duty of care, so that soon, once we do that, once we review the Online Safety Act and deliver a digital duty of care, they will have a legal responsibility to do that under the law as well.
When could you envisage, I mean, you talk about the fines up to 45 million, I think you said. I've read 50 million and the reasonable steps test.
No, you haven't.
49.5 million.
49.5, there you go. Close enough to 50, isn't it? It's a lot.
Do your job properly, mate.
Circumstance, can you see where companies would be fined? Like, would it be a situation where they didn't just have the odd under 16 on there, but they had, as you said, systemically, like thousands of them? Is that what we're sort of looking at?
That's right, a systemic breach where I think the Safety Commissioner takes a view that they have not taken reasonable steps to uphold the...
Reasonable steps. I tell you what, reasonable steps. That's being drummed into our head like safe and effective was. Reasonable steps, reasonable steps, reasonable steps. Well, what's reasonable? What is reasonable? Demanding, requiring, providing a choice for people to verify their age. Reasonable steps. Yes, Rachel, exactly. Why won't they tell us, everybody? Why aren't journalists doing their job properly and asking why we can't get any detail? What are the reasonable steps? What does common sense mean when you're talking about age verification or age assurance? Oh, you know what they're doing? You know what they're doing? They're taking people out to the back of an alley and doing abhorrent things to the Australian public. That's what they're doing. They're taking you out to the back alley and doing abhorrent things. And everybody's just walking past that alley, not seeing it, got their blinkers on like a horse with their chaff bag, while someone's out there in the back alley.
Australian law, and I think that that's reasonable. I mean, can I remind you, Andrew, I know you've got kids yourself, the current law says that kids should not hold social media accounts if they're below 13. So we're talking about moving that age from 13 to 16, giving kids 36 more months to build online resilience, for us to build up their education about
Online resilience. There's one of those key words again. Hey, resilience. Thank you, Anika. I'm glad you're looking out for children building resilience.
navigating the internet safely, for them to forge their own connections, you know, in sports teams or social areas that they're interested in, their own hobbies outside the internet. Given that the current age is 13, we're talking about delaying that for 36 months to give kids every right to find out who they are before these
Now we're talking about children's rights. They're delaying it by 36 months because they're interested in children's rights to discover who they are before big tech does. You've got to be kidding me. And if you think kids are going to go, oh, can't have TikTok anymore, can't have Instagram, not on Facebook, don't do, is FaceTime included? I don't know. Oh, I better go and join me local hockey club. Hey, Mum, can I go and join the hockey club? It's not going to happen. These people, they think we're stupid. They think we're stupid.
platforms assume who they are.
Well, it's funny you should mention it. One of my children turned 16 11 days after your ban comes in, so I assume she'll welcome the date of the ban relatively. But how much of this is about a signal as opposed to actual enforcement? A vehicle for parents to be able to tell their kids, hey, that's not legal until you're 16.
That's exactly right, Andrew. I think this is about the chilling effect that a national law, which is a world-leading law, will have on the culture.
World leading. There we are, world leading. We're leading the world, everybody. We're leading the world.
Of social media account usage in our kids. And like you say, your daughter will turn 16 10 days after the ban comes into place. My kids are younger. They will have always experienced social media accounts as something that is only available to them after 16. It's about changing that culture.
Changing the culture, right? It's about changing the culture. So she's saying that the young, the small humans who don't have a social media account, it will change the culture. So the kids will go and say, oh, I want to join the hockey club, get back out there instead of being online, all this sort of thing, blah, 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 blah. No, it's not. Hey, Anika, you know what? You know what? I'm sick and tired of these people. It's not about changing culture. It's changing the programming. They need to pivot the programming is what they're doing because they know damn well that not only adults, but young people and small humans are getting a wealth of information, different opinions, different views, different history from online media and not from Channel 2, Channel 7, Channel 9, the ABC and SBS on the TV in their house. They know damn well that nobody's watching the programming anymore. And they've got to what? They've got to get rid of the online sources of information and get people, pivot them back to watching the propaganda on the box. Don't give me that you're changing the culture because you care about children, safety online and getting them back out to playing at hockey clubs and cricket clubs. Rubbish. You want to take away information that is provided to adults, teens, and small humans online because information is power. Let's not forget we're in an information war. There's fifth generational war at the moment. You don't need a tank rolling down your street to be under attack anymore. This is not to do with changing the culture. This is about digital ID and pivoting programming and propaganda. They need young people not to be able to source information online. They have to keep it from them because what? They're arming themselves with the truth. That's the fact of the matter, Anika. That's the fact of the matter.
And in the same way that you can't smoke until you're 18 or you can't drink until you're 18, and there's still kids who will smoke or drink before 18 because they want to, they'll get around the laws. There will be these instances, like God bless them, that's how kids are. But also plenty of kids, I have heard from parents who are relieved about this, are not currently signing up for a social media account because that they know that they're going to be banned. Lots of law-abiding kids out there too. But overall, we're about changing the culture and we're doing things to build up awareness and better safety for our kids online.
I see this as the difficulty, though, this kind of roadblock of, you know, millions of Australian kids probably who have social media accounts under, certainly hundreds of thousands, who have them under 16, between, say, 13 and 16. And that's going to be more difficult than, say, if you've got a 6-year-old now, would you, and who, you know, who's never seen the thing. Would you acknowledge that?
Absolutely, we've been acknowledging that the whole time, and we're sort of working with not just parents, but...
Did she say we're twerking with? Did she just say we're twerking with? Oh, I've got to take it back. I think she said twerking.
That's going to be more difficult than, say, if you've got a 6-year-old now. Would you, and who, you know, who's never seen the thing. Would you acknowledge that?
Absolutely, we've been acknowledging that the whole time, and we're sort of working with not just parents, but...
She said twerking. She is just as eloquent as Albanese government. Eh? Oh, love. Oh, that's great. We've been twerking. Oh. Oh, that made me laugh. Oh, sitting through this just for that was worth it, everybody. Small things amuse small minds, I tell you.
Teachers and principals, people who are influential on a child's life during that time, about how we support them through that process. But at the moment, if you are a parent and you decided that your kid who's 14, you don't want them to have an Instagram account, at the moment, because all 14-year-olds are able to do that, you are making a choice that might make them feel socially isolated. These laws will mean that nobody who is 14 is meant to be on Instagram. It will have a cultural impact, and it will mean that people and parents don't face blame for socially isolating their children for trying to do what is demonstrably the safest thing.
Oh, she doesn't want parents to face blame for socially isolating their children. She said another quiet part out loud, that she realises what I said at the start of the show. Have they considered the harmful effect that this is going to have on... She just said that this is going to socially isolate children. I mean, you cannot make this up. And saying it with a smile, you disgusting creature.
For them, which is to keep them off social media until they've got more development, more resilience, more connection in their real life.
And what's the latest on any legal action in the wings on this?
Nothing from what we discussed last week in the Parliament.
Don't want to talk about the legal action, Anika? Huh? Why? Why? Because we're not supposed to have any details about that either. Huh? Haven't you just done a deal with Amazon and Google isn't happy? They want to sue you?
So you got a letter from Google, didn't you? Is that correct? But that's a suggestion they might take action, but that's not occurring. Where are we at?
Well, that's right. The last we had was a letter from Google saying that if we did remove their exemption, they would be considering their next steps. They argued that under 16s have an implied right to freedom of political communication under the Australian Constitution. We haven't had anything further since we chose to remove the YouTube exemption last Wednesday. I made the decision last Tuesday. We announced it last Wednesday.
Oops, she got her dates mixed up, everybody. She didn't go over her dates enough. Oh dear. Okay, you're slipping up there. You're going off script.
I mean, that has been controversial. Why did the government decide to include YouTube? Because it's only a ban on having an account. Kids could actually look at YouTube for hours and hours without an account, right? So what practical effect does it have?
Very good question. What practical effect would this have? Why would you do that when they can watch it in locked out state? What is she going to say? What's she going to say, everyone? This is important. What's she going to say?
It means that YouTube is being treated the same as all other social media platforms. It means that YouTube is not being treated differently to its peers as social media platforms. I mean, YouTube would argue that
So YouTube's being treated the same as the other platforms, but it's not going to actually have any effect because they can still watch it. Is she going to say that part as well? No, she won't say that part. You can guarantee it.
it's a video streaming service, but YouTube also self-identified as a social media platform when working with the Safety Commissioner on industry codes, which the industry led in February earlier this year. So it's about treating all social media platforms the same, and it's about upholding the spirit of the law, which is the
spirit of the law. I'll tell you what's a spirit of the law. There's children accessing porn. Love, where's your spirit of the law there? It evaporated into the ether, didn't it? Spirit of the law.
We want kids to be off learning to play netball or having a go at little athletics or doing something with their friends in people's backyards rather than on a social media account. And like you said, there is a utility for social media. It has its place. There is no place for predatory algorithms. And removing the YouTube login is about those predatory algorithms that occur within a login, whilst noting that parents, teachers have utility for YouTube.
Now, I'll tell you what. When children have a children's YouTube account, there are certain safety guards that you can put on that. And one of the really great ones is you can see if they're commenting, liking, subscribing, downloading. That's not going to be possible anymore, is it? Whether they're watching in a logged out state or they're using their parents' adult account. Predatory, inappropriate videos will definitely pop up when children are using adult accounts, right, Anika? Huh? Isn't that right?
YouTube, you can still access number blocks on a link that your teacher sends home if your kid needs to do that for their homework.
Yeah. And then the school's going to ask parents if we're okay with children having to verify their age to use devices in school. Are we even going to get a letter home about that? In fact, have you even thought about that? Because I don't approve of that.
We're trying to get the balance right here. It's about balance.
Balance.
Have you got any further plans in the sort of misinformation bill space? We've seen a rise in the deep fake stuff going on the internet, images of the PM announcing things he hasn't announced, even Sky presenters saying things that aren't true. What other action are you considering there?
Look, in terms of my priorities, absolutely we are working towards delivering.
Oh, Max Freedom, I need that button again. I need the limited hangout button. Sky News has just gone. Is there any word on the misinformation bill? We've got videos being made available and Sky News presenters saying things that they don't say. We've got misinformation out of control because of AI technology. Sky News, hello everybody, misinformation bill. When are we going to see it rear its ugly head again, please? Max, I really need that button. I really need that button. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. No integrity at all. That's what you get from corporate media.
The social media ban come 10 December. Everybody's had 12 months notice and we've got 4 months to go. And I'm also working on our review of the Online Safety Act and delivering a digital duty of care. I think that's an important next step on the road to online safety.
digital duty of care, the spirit of the law. Doesn't matter about Pornhub, everybody. Don't worry about Pornhub.
And making the internet as safe as we possibly can for all of its
Yes,
users.
safe.
And finally, on the Peter Murphy gambling reforms, these really seem to have been shelved. A limit on ads to 2 an hour, for example, and around football matches. Will you be revisiting that proposal?
How about the alcohol ads as well?
Do you think? Is it possible age assurance technology could be used in relation to online gaming advertising?
Since becoming the Communications Minister, I have had quite a few meetings in that space about that work.
No, you haven't. Don't lie. Your staffers have, not you. Don't lie, Anika.
From people who represent all different sides of that question, and I really look forward to continuing to work with them on trying to deliver something.
See, nope, not going to answer it. We're talking about gaming, online, advertising, gaming. No answer. No, don't worry about it, everybody. No, just I look forward to continuing to work with these people on it. Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah.
And when do you think we'll see that something?
As soon as I can manage it.
Anika Wells, thanks so much for your time.
Such a pleasure.
As soon as I can manage it, she says. As soon as I can manage it. Well, if her past behaviour since being appointed the Communications Minister in May, and not seeing her face until the 30th of July, excuse me, we did see her face when she was sworn in, which was the 13th of May, 2025, when her kids were playing football in Governor's House. If her track record is anything to go by, we won't see anything for a while in regards to gaming or gaming ads online, all this sort of no. I know Nick is in a knot. People are frustrated. I tell you what, I did warn everybody that this is going to be painful to watch. Very, very painful. Hello, Richard. Hi, Daryl. Hi, people of power. How are you? I know. My apologies. I apologise at the start of the show. Apologise again. I'm very sorry. But as far as I can tell, when we're talking about independent media in the independent media space, nobody is watching this lady. And I think she needs to be kept, or tabs need to be kept on her. When she's appearing, what she's saying, who she's deferring to, what questions she's answering, more importantly, which questions she's not answering, the type of language she's using, saying the quiet part out loud. Also, the shows she appears on and the limited hangouts, which Max Freedom has wonderfully pointed out, that are mentioned during her appearances. And as I see it, I don't see anyone in the independent media sphere in Australia watching this lady. So I have taken it upon my shoulders, because I'm such a fan of Julie Inman Grant and previous Communications Minister Michelle Rowland, that my purview has been pivoted to Miss Anika Wells. And once again, I do apologise. It's cringeworthy. It's painful. It's definitely knicker twisting viewing. That's for sure. It's very difficult to watch, I must admit. Very difficult. But someone's got to do it. Hello, Andrew. I think I said it. Yvonne, how are you? How are you? Righty, everybody. So still no detail. Lots of questions still that still have no answers. Your ears are hurting, I know. It's not beer o'clock here yet, but by golly gosh, I wish it was. Right, let's take her off. Remove her from the stage, everybody. Remove her from the stage. Oh, Lord. All righty, everybody. I appreciate you joining me for today's show. She's alive. She's alive. Can you believe it? Honestly. So, do I have any predictions? I think I can make one prediction for sure, and that is we are going to get zero information for as long as they can possibly hold off for. That's another question. Why would they do that? Why would they not want to give us any detail? Hello, Martin. Why are we so concerned about our kids not being able to access social media? Most of it is garbage. Kids need to get outdoors and be kids again. Yes, absolutely. But it's not about that. Digital ID and pivoting people, young people and kids back to the programming of the stations and corporate media forces that nobody is watching anymore. But yes, no, kids should be at Walmart. And I don't think anybody would disagree with you, Martin. I mean, kids should be outside more. Social adults. Yep. Your ears are bleeding. Oh, God. Oh, I don't think I've had an episode which has caused so many injuries. Oh dear. I'm really going to have to put a warning. I'll need another button. Max, if we could get a sound mixer that I can plug in, has all the wonderful buttons that you can press. We need the limited hangout, and we also need an alert button to alert people to the fact it's going to be a painful episode and injuries possible. Oh dear. Severe migraines. Oh gosh, we've got migraines as well. Migraines, ears bleeding, headaches, knicker twisting. Oh, jeez. Yep. Painful. Yep. Definitely painful. Definitely painful. Right, everybody. So there we go. I wonder what's going to happen next, huh? I wonder what's going to happen with the next appearance. Well, it should be they kind of do a are we gonna see a tag team? So we've had Elbow, we've had Anika, we've had the Shadow Communications Minister all appear since the 30th of July. The last time we saw our E-Commissioner was on the 24th of June. So it's probably about time they get Julie out in front of the cameras, isn't it? Is that what is going to happen next? They're going to get Julie out in front of the cameras? I don't know. Anyway, maybe we could start putting bets on that. We'll probably get on some gaming app, some betting app, some gambling app that all the high school kids are using because they are. Apparently, they do it in class, but don't worry about that, everybody. We just need to keep people off Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and all those places. Thanks, Martin. Yeah, no, I know. I know. All righty, everybody. Let's your litter tray. I know. I know. For your safety button. Yes. That's the one we need. A torture button. The following episode will be torture button. Yes. Yes. So I would love to have those things. I need a little special suite to be able to do that on my computer. Go along to buy me coffee and become a member. As I said, I'm taking steps to make sure that I stay online next year without getting caught up in all of this nonsense. And if you can go along to Courageous the Cure on Buy Me Coffee and become a member, you will be helping to make sure that occurs. Oh, for your safety button and a torture button. Yeah, we need all of those. Oh, we had another great suggestion. We need another bingo show. So maybe should we have a painful social media ban bingo night? Hey, we'll wait for another great video like that one, a painful video, and have social media torture bingo night. How's that? Should we do that? That sounds pretty good. People of Power, did you see Free Speech Union won a court case against E. Karen? Anyone in particular? Was it very recent? But anyway, last announcement, if you haven't entered today on my Facebook page to win a Black Sheep Club badge, please go along to my Facebook page and enter in the comments. I will be announcing the winners in a few hours. So if you haven't done that and you would like one of those badges, please go along to my Facebook page and enter that competition. Alrighty, everybody. Make sure you have a wonderful day. She's alive, everybody. She's alive. Don't worry. Nothing's happened to her. Have a wonderful day. And I will see you again very soon, hopefully with a less painful, torturous episode. All right. See ya.
Strength of a woman world on her shoulders. Fight through the noise when the world gets colder. 832, got the grit, got the fire. Watch her rise, watch her come home.